What's going on, guys? TieFly85 here again.
And I'm T-Rec87.
And welcome to another episode of the MGK Podcast. So welcome back, everybody. So excited to be here on another episode. And today we definitely have quite a few topics to talk about with you, some pretty exciting ones. But the first one up on our list, let's go ahead and get started, is Harrison Ford starring in the new Indiana Jones 5 that they announced. But one of the biggest things overall with that is they announced that they're going to push it back until 2021. So definitely delayed another. It just keeps getting delayed overall. It doesn't really make any sense. T-Rex, what do you think about this?
All right, here's the deal. So it's getting delayed until 2021. It's 2018. That's how many years? Like 3 more years?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me just point this out on Harrison Ford's Wikipedia page, which is a stunning picture of him wearing an earring. But he's 76 years old. He's going to be 79 when they start filming for this, when it actually gets... Or, well, they might start production before that. But he's really old, honestly. Like, I'm sorry. It's either time, in my opinion. I love Harrison Ford. I think he's a great actor. I mean, he's always kind of just like Harrison Ford. Like, that's all he does. But he's one of my favorite actors. But it's time to let it go. And I personally am of the opinion that Indiana Jones either needs to they need to like stop doing it, or they need to reboot it in some sort of fashion. I know that's probably not a popular opinion just because Harrison Ford is so iconic and that would be a hard character to reboot, but I would love to see somebody take like a new take on Indiana Jones. Or I've been secretly hoping for years about like to see like an Uncharted movie. I don't know if you ever play Uncharted, dude, but it's basically Indiana Jones with somebody who's not 76.
Yeah, no, I definitely love the Uncharted. Yeah, I mean, to add on to your point, I just don't understand. I mean, yes, he is definitely getting old, but I really personally want to see at least one last Harrison Ford in an Indiana Jones movie. It has to happen.
What are you hoping for, though? Like, what are you hoping for that's going to happen?
I don't even care if it's like the crappiest movie ever. Like, I just want to see one last Harrison Ford Indiana Jones movie. If they're going to end up passing it on to somebody else, which I've heard that they could pass it on to Chris Pratt, which would be pretty awesome.
That'd be okay.
I think that to have him at least come back one last time to pass it off to him like that. I've heard stories about how it's going to be him older, and they're still going to go from Kingdom of Crystal Skull, but his son's going to be older now. So like Shia LaBeouf, right? Except
and it's not going to be Shia LaBeouf because
it's not going to be Shia LaBeouf. But imagine him now older, and it's Chris Pratt, right? So he grew up, he's Chris Pratt, and now his dad's pretty. So I mean that would be pretty interesting. But anyways, to bring me back to the point, the reason why I really want to see Harrison Ford before before something bad happens is because it brings me back to my point of like what Universal did. With the Ghostbusters, you had Harold Ramis, who ended up wanting to make another Ghostbusters, and because it took so long for anybody to greenlight it, he ended up passing away, and it never happened. And then we got the reboot that we did get that nobody liked. So it's kind of like that kind of thing. Like, why are you pushing it out further when you have this actor who's willing to do it now,
right?
And you want to push it back and do West Side Story? It's so odd to me. I don't understand what Steven Spielberg doing, unless Harrison Ford is the one who's saying, "Hey, let's hold off and see what's going on here."
Yeah.
But I just don't know. That one. It's so confusing.
And I know like Indiana Jones is like Harrison Ford's favorite character that he's ever played. Like he said that before. Like he's like super all about it, and I agree. Like Indiana Jones is a great character, but I feel like this is going to be like another Kingdom of Crystal Skulls, where the movie wasn't. I mean, like I like the movie, but I also like really crappy movies. So I mean, it wasn't that great of a movie when you look at like the older Indiana Jones movies were really good, and it was still okay, but it wasn't. I mean, it like sort of like fell apart at the end, is my opinion. But I feel like we're going to end up with like another situation where it's kind of the same, where it doesn't live up to expectation. And yeah, like the age thing and everything else, I don't even know that this is a good idea to make another one. Like, I would want to see another one. I just don't know that it's a good idea. I would love to see, I don't know, like maybe him pass it off to somebody. Chris Pratt would be okay. I'm starting to call into question like Chris Pratt's like acting chops in terms of being like an action hero after Jurassic World. I mean, like, he's a good actor. He's a good comedic actor, and so maybe in that vein, like, he could still do a good job. I didn't like him in Jurassic World as much at all.
I think I can understand what you're saying. Like, sometimes the actor could be good enough that even if the crap part that they've given, or the crap writing that they've been given to play, like, they can pull it off and make it good. But I think for him in particular with Jurassic World, I mean, they just wrote his character so generic. I mean, we talked about that in our review. It was really and if anybody want to see our review, definitely go check it out, because we do talk about that in detail. But I mean, I definitely agree with you. But also too, it's a lot of the writing as well. Like, if you're not written well, like, what are you supposed to work with?
Right, that's what are you supposed to do at that point? Yeah, no, I guess I see what you're saying. I mean, that does make sense, I guess. I don't know. I'm really wary about the whole thing. I think it's a bad idea, and that's just how I feel about it. So,
well, if anything, I think they need to move faster on that, because I really want to see a Harrison Ford Indiana Jones, and if they're going to try to do a reboot, like, and he never comes back again, like, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, well,
we'd have to see.
Like, I don't know. Maybe not right now, but in 10 years. Maybe.
But in 10 years, no, like, all of us aren't even going to care about it.
Oh, sure they will.
Honestly, they're going to find a whole new audience that's going to care about it.
Well,
and for all of us, it's all going to be nostalgia. We're going to be like, oh, Indiana Jones from, 30 years ago, 40, 50
Not
years
my
ago.
Indiana Jones. That's what it's going to be. Everybody's going to be like, hashtag not my Indy. And people are going to be like,
just like hashtag not my
Yeah, and people are going to be like, we don't use hashtags anymore.
Exactly.
I mean, that'll be like, basically, we're like old and out of touch. But like, yeah, I don't know. I would like to see an Indiana Jones reboot. I really would. Like, it's just like kind of one of those things where like it goes from my love for the Uncharted series. Like, I really, like, I love Nathan Drake's character, and I would love to see that. I've actually heard rumors that there's going to be an Uncharted movie at some point.
I've heard rumors about that too.
I haven't seen anything like solid, but yeah.
I feel like Uncharted, Tomb Raider, and Indiana Jones are all like taken from the same vein. Like, they're all pretty similar overall.
Yeah.
But Indiana Jones, to me personally, had the most interesting aspect of it altogether.
Actually, this is I wanted to talk about this since I kind of got off topic on Uncharted really quickly. Nathan Fillion, who's the the voice actor for Nathan Drake or whatever on Uncharted, he made a tweet the other day. He posted.
Well, he's also the captain of Firefly.
Well, yeah.
For anybody who watched Firefly.
Yeah, for anybody that don't know, I mean, he's done a lot of voice acting. He's really a good actor. But he tweeted out the other day this picture of Drake, the singer, and Sic Parvis Magna, which is kind of Nathan Drake's, like, I don't know, like a saying for the Uncharted series, sort of. And it says 7/16/18, which is actually, depending on when the podcast goes up, it's either going to be tomorrow or today. So really soon. So I'm curious to see what happens with this, because it's rumored that like maybe it's a movie or there's a new Uncharted game or something. Because obviously Drake, I mean, he's not being that clever.
Yeah.
Like, everybody gets it, but. Anyway, if I see something about this, I will let you guys know and keep you up to date on it throughout the week. But I'm super excited about this. I just wanted to mention that real quickly.
Yeah, no, that'll actually be pretty awesome. I would love to see a live action, and especially with him, I think he could do a pretty good job, especially considering the fact that like everybody would associate his voice with the video game, so all the people going to see the movie would then be like, holy crap, it's him.
I mean, I think he's maybe a little too old to play Nathan Drake. Maybe with some, I don't know, real great makeup or something. Like, he could do it. But I would go for an older Nathan Drake being having an Uncharted movie. Like, him specifically, I would love to see in a movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else did you want to talk about? Did you want to talk about Star Wars?
Yeah, so moving on from that one, the next topic that we had that's a really big thing that's moving on is in Star Wars Episode 9, since, there was the whole boycott of Solo, and there was the whole backlash of fans, and all of the stuff that's swirling right now with Star Wars overall, one of the biggest things that I think Lucasfilm and Star Wars are trying to pull is bringing back in, they're going to bring Star Wars Episode 9, is going to bring back Billy D. Williams for Lando, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what do you think about this before I give my opinions?
Not a huge fan, personally. I mean, I think the whole reason that they're doing it personally. I mean, I haven't seen Solo, but what's his name? Is it Danny Glover who played?
Yeah, Danny Glover.
Yeah, Danny Glover, who got a lot of praise for his portrayal of Lando, and that was like from what I heard, like one of the really great things about the Solo movie was his portrayal of Lando, and I feel like they're like latching on to that small success right there and trying to drag it over to episode 9. I'm not sold on the idea of Lando in episode 9. I mean, I know we were kind of talking about this earlier when we were on the phone, but like, I mean, what are they gonna do with him? Like, bring him back just to kill him, like just like they killed everybody else? Like Han's dead, Luke's dead, Leia's not dead, but she's not coming back. And so that leaves Lando realistically. So I don't know. What do you think? What are they going to do? Like, are they bringing him back to kill him off, or what do you think they're doing?
Well, just as a quick, just to correct that, it's Donald Glover.
I knew it was Danny or Donald. I couldn't remember. Yeah, my bad.
Just so no one's in the comments just like, these guys are idiots. But, no, so as far as it goes, I mean, it seems really just strange to me on why you want to keep bringing back all of these old characters. So, you pushed The Force Awakens with using Luke, right? Just a quick little glimpse of Luke just to get everybody all, like, excited. Then we go see it, and we realize he's only the last 5 seconds. And then we go and see The Last Jedi, and you end up, like, destroying him. And then now, but you're using the nostalgia of all of these characters, like Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill. And then now you're going to bring back Billy D. Williams for Lando because, everybody connected so heavily with, if you go read a lot of the articles for, Solo, a Star Wars movie, a lot of people connected highly with, Donald Glover,
right.
With that movie playing Lando. So, it kind of makes sense that they would kind of pull back in, Billy Dean Williams for that. But, like, to what end is what I say. To what end overall? Are they just going to kill off his character? And then that's, like,
it's like another one of those, like, nostalgia factor things. I feel like they're, like they're just bringing him back just because people like Lando. And it's funny because I remember they said when, like, I think you might have just said this, but like when Star Wars Episode 7 came out, they were like, no, this is a new Star Wars. They're not going to rely on the old characters. They're going to have like, it's going to rely more on like Daisy Ridley and blah blah blah, and these other guys are going to be totally secondary. But they're definitely bringing them back in to try to have like an emotional connection with the audience, or I don't know, dude. Like I don't like that this is like the third time in a row that they're like, third movie in a row that it seems like they're almost going to be relying on this to get people into the theater.
Well, it's kind of like their big push too with all the fans asking for the Kenobi film with Ian McGregor.
Okay,
if they were to, well, of course everybody would go see that. But, even people who probably aren't Star Wars fans would still go see that because it's going to be a great film.
I find that to be a very interesting contrast at how hated the prequels used to be, but how beloved Ewan McGregor is as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, everybody is totally, like, all in for that movie, even though, 5 years ago everybody was like, the prequel sucked, So I think this is a really interesting contrast that's there, like that everybody has a lot of love for his character, and he's a good actor. I loved his character. He did a really good job, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on it. I'm a little bit leery of Star Wars at this point. I liked all the movies. I enjoyed them when I watched them. I know you did. I know. I get it. But I enjoy them when I watch them, and they're fine. But I can't help but notice that, and maybe this is a product of like getting older or something like that. But where there's like you see like these corporate like machinations, like where you see like the motive behind like bringing somebody back, and you're like, oh, that's a cash grab, and you can see through it. And like during the movie, like it's great, but when you know that there's like an ulterior motive there, it kind of ruins the experience for me a little bit. And maybe that's just part of like growing up. I guess that sucks, but
yeah. Well, it's totally marketing. They're looking to market to the younger generation, but us who grew up with that originally are going to be like, wait, what's this? Like, this is not right.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Jurassic World with Jurassic Park, or we have, just think of any movie that's been remade from when we were a kid.
Right.
and it's completely different. Now, Power Rangers would be another good one.
You know what? That was an okay movie right up until the end, until they turned into the Power Rangers. Basically, until the end, and they had like. Did you watch the new movie?
Yeah.
It really was like the story in itself was really pretty good with like Bryan Cranston and everybody.
Get me to the Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, up until literally that part of the movie, like where like shit just went off the rails and like it just like fell apart and turned into the TV show and went like campy. Like it was really good right up until there, and then it turned into like Find the Donut Shack and a really crappy Zord battle. Like the '90s guys in like the foam suits could have done a better job. Than their fucking Zord battle.
The putty patrol or whatever the hell they call it.
No, with the Zords. Like the...
Yeah,
it just...
I know who you're talking about. Speaking of old 90s nostalgia, that kind of is a great segue into our next topic, which is there's going to be a reboot of Mortal Kombat, which, I mean, oh my goodness, it's about freaking time. That's all I have to say. And even better, too, is James Wan is going to be the director of it, which is pretty freaking exciting because he's about to come off of Aquaman for the DCEU, and they're really banking on that movie hardcore. So I'm actually pretty excited for Aquaman. I mean, what do you think, T-Rec 87? Like, what do you think of the reboot?
I am super excited about that. Really, realistically, as somebody who grew up in the 90s and like as a kid, like anytime like after the Mortal Kombat movie came out, like I loved that movie. I thought it was so good. And anytime I'd hear like the Mortal Kombat theme music come on, you just like start wildly dancing because it's so good.
Doubt.
Like it was so good. Like I remember hearing it at like, this is kind of off topic, but at my local, like we had a roller skating a rink back in the day around here, or you could rollerblade or whatever, and occasionally they would play like the Mortal Kombat theme song, and it was so epic. Like there was like all these flashing lights, and it was just really cool. But so anyway, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, just in general. I love the games, I love the movies. I don't like the second Mortal Kombat movie quite as much. I like that little short mini series that was on YouTube. I don't know if you've ever saw that. Typeline. It was actually pretty good. They got some actual like kind of like name actors, on there. I'm really excited for a new Mortal Kombat. And you were saying that there were rumors, just basically because there's not really any information out there. Everybody's wildly speculating that it's not going to that it wasn't going to concentrate on like
so the original rumors when this first came out were that they're basically were saying that none of the original characters like Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, all them, like none of them were going to be focused on, and it was basically going to focus on a brand new character, so that it would just be a whole new character and take away from any of the original movies or anything like that. But the director, James. What was it? James
Wan.
James Wan. Sorry, guys. James Wan. He basically put the kibosh on that by saying, hey, no, don't believe everything you read. Basically,
all he really said was that, like, he's like, we're so early into production, like, there's nothing right now. Like, it's just that there is a movie being made. But
it says it right here. Anyone who tells you the movie is location scouting or casting is trolling you. So basically, at this point, anything that's said about this movie is false. Basically just false.
And I think I know, I can see where the rumor of them not concentrating on Liu Kang and everybody came from. In the newest Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat X, I played through the story mode on that. I have, and it definitely it concentrates on like some of the kids of like the main Mortal Kombat characters. Like Cassie Cage is like Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade's daughter, and a couple other people, and so maybe that's kind of like where that rumor came from, is because the story definitely focuses more on those younger people than it does like say like Liu Kang or Johnny Cage or anybody else. Like they're in there, but they're not like the focal point. But I don't think that would translate well over to a movie. I think that anybody who's going to go see the Mortal Kombat movie liked the original Mortal Kombat movie, and really all they want to see is Liu Kang kick some ass all over again and see Scorpion and Sub-Zero and everybody. Realistically, it needs to be about the main original characters that everybody knows and loves.
Well, I love the fact that they're remaking kind of almost a slew of '90s nostalgia movies, even too with what's the one they're bringing back with Jamie Foxx, Spawn.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
even
they
Spawn.
are doing a new Spawn.
Like, I love the idea that they're remaking these movies because I loved the originals. Don't get me wrong, I loved all the originals. But I think that it's about time for these particular movies just because the technology that we can use today to make these movies even more amazing and in-depth and actually bring what the world's in the comics that we, you know what I mean, the world that it actually should be.
When's the last time you watched the original Spawn movie? Just out of curiosity.
Maybe like a year or 2 years ago.
So I went back and watched it. It was probably about a year ago or so. I saw it on like Netflix or whatever, and I was like, hell yeah, Spawn! And I went and watched it, and you're absolutely right. But the CGI in that movie, like, I don't remember it being terrible. I remember I remember it being like in the news at the time, like that his cape was so like groundbreaking because it like flowed, you know. And then like I went back and watched it, and I was like, "Hey, that's not so good." And they, you know, like the cape's pretty bad. And then when he goes down into hell and he fights like who's the clown?
John Leguizamo.
Yeah, I know.
That's not
the clown's name. But
I can't remember the name, but yeah.
When he fights him as a demon or whatever, and like when they're in hell or whatever, and like you see like the big bat of hell, and it looks terrible. Like, and so like I would be really. I'm very curious to see a Spawn in 2018, 2019, like how that looks. So I'm super excited. Like, I love the old movie, and it was really good for back in the day. But if you go back and watch it now, like, it doesn't really hold up very well.
Yeah, but it's still a great, like, cult classic movie for sure. Even though it doesn't hold up, it's still a great movie.
Yeah, no, for sure. It is really, it's fun to watch. It's like a good like Netflix movie. You're just like bored, you know.
And that's the reason why I don't understand with Hollywood nowadays is like, why can't they pick movies that people would love to see being remade instead of just remaking everything and seeing how it goes?
Well, that's the thing though, is it doesn't seem to like, okay, this is just my opinion. It doesn't seem to matter what they remake, is that everyone gets pissed. Like, about everything, dude. Like, okay, like we were talking about this earlier. I liked the RoboCop reboot. I loved it. It didn't really resonate with people, I think, as well as they wanted it to. I loved the Dredd reboot with Carl Urban. Like, I thought that was so good and so spot on for Judge Dredd. It was so good, dude. Like, and like, don't get me wrong, I love Sylvester Stallone's Dredd too. Like, I do, like, because I think it was like a great movie for back in the day. But everyone got pissed about that too. It doesn't matter like what you do. It's just everybody's gonna get mad. It doesn't matter. You're gonna piss off somebody. You can't. That's the whole thing. You can't please everybody, I guess. But I got off topic. I don't remember what I was going to say.
Well, leading on from that overall, we're going to go into... There's brand new leaks overall for the new Venom. There's new photos of Tom Hardy compares characters to Ren and Stimpy. But anyways, there's new images, though, for the first look.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty much the only real image. But, I mean, I'm really jazzed about the new Venom movie, dude. I think it looks really good. And just oh my god, like, look at that picture. Like, look how creepy he is, you know? Like, zoom in on, I went the wrong way. Oh, that didn't work out very well at all. Okay, let me just, look at this picture. Look at Venom. Like, he looks so good. It looks just exactly how I would actually picture Venom, as opposed to, what was it, Spider-Man 3's Venom with, Eric Foreman.
Yeah, Eric Foreman.
You know, like, it just looks really good. I'm super excited about this movie. I just wanted to share this photo with everybody, really. Was all I wanted to do. And are you guys? I guess I ask you guys. Are you guys excited about the Venom movie? I mean, or do you think this is going to be like another one of those crash and burn things? I'd be really curious to find out what everybody thinks, because it doesn't seem like. I feel like they're doing this movie, and like they directly said, like, it's not necessarily tied to like the current Spider-Man universe. But I feel like if it does really, really well, it will tie into the Spider-Man universe. They'll make it tie in. But I think that's why they're saying that, is they're trying to keep it separate from like that Marvel gold mine. But if it ends up being, you know, like real great, then they're going to be like, they're just going to pull it right in. You know, it's going to be a part of it, and it's going to be the next Spider-Man movie. You know, but if it crashes and burns, they can just dust it, you know, dump it under the rug and never talk about it again, basically.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good idea for them overall that they decided to do this movie, and especially with Tom Hardy, he's a great actor.
Yeah,
and he's done quite a few movies. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be a good one. And you're right. I mean, the picture of that looks really like dark and gritty and scary. So I love it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty stoked. And so moving on from that one, though, we were just recently talking about RoboCop. So Neil Blomkamp is to direct a RoboCop movie based on unmade sequel to the 1987 original. So basically what it's saying here in this article is that basically he's going to take a script that was written in the 80s, and he's going to basically take that movie and make that script. Like, what do you think of that, T-Record7?
I think it's pretty cool. I really, like I said, I really liked the reboot, the newer RoboCop movie. I thought it was really well done. I mean, for what it was, I would be interested to see like what that script is about. I mean, it makes me wonder. Like, I don't know. I guess like it makes me wonder. Like, like was the script bad, or like like why didn't it get made in the first place? And are they gonna like change certain elements about it or what? But I'd really be curious as to like what is that going to be about. And it sounds like it seems like this is going to follow the same universe. It's not going to be like another reboot. It's going to be a sequel to the new one. Is from what I gather, which I'm really glad about. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm a RoboCop fan. I basically, if it's like sci-fi or anything like in that genre, like you can count me in. Like I'll go see it. So I'm pretty stoked about it.
Wait, so you read that it's a sequel to the new one? Because I thought it was it's a script from the original 1987, a sequel to that one.
But it's going to be a sequel to the new one.
Oh, nice. Okay, I guess I didn't catch that part.
But the only reason I'm extrapolating that is just from this line right here where they say we knew a sequel was coming, but we didn't expect this. Wait.
Yeah, no, definitely.
There's a new RoboCop movie coming that will be a direct sequel to the original.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like it's a script that they originally had wrote for a sequel to the original.
That's stupid.
That was just sitting around, and
Ed Neumer told Zeitgeist Entertainment Magazine that his script will be a direct sequel to the 1987 sci-fi classic, and it will ignore RoboCop 2 and 3, as well as the widely panned 2014 remake. That's stupid. I'm not on board. I'm back off the train. I'm like, I just jumped off the train. I'm done.
The widely panned 2014.
It was a good movie. I don't care what any of you say. It was great. I loved that movie. He was super futuristic, and it was really cool.
The thing that threw me off for that whole movie was the drug with the visual. The whole, like, it was like down the rabbit hole type thing.
What are you talking about? Are you thinking of Dredd?
Yeah, isn't that what we're...
No, RoboCop.
No, RoboCop, sorry. I was thinking of Judge Dredd. I was like...
No, that was still cool, too. That was cool, though.
That part kind of, like, it was just weird.
Visually, it was cool.
I mean, visually it was cool, but it just kind of took me out of the story because it had nothing to do with the original movie. Like, there was nothing about that from the original.
No, but it's a like it doesn't have to be a part of the original. It wasn't meant to be a part of the original movie.
I guess if that's what they were going for, they succeeded.
I mean, yeah, no, I see where you're coming from, but
yeah, RoboCop, as far as it goes, I think that this could be an amazing idea because remember,
I'm out.
If you remember this, hold on though, freaking James Cameron is coming back to make another Terminator that's set. He's going to disregard all of the Terminator movies up until like what is it, 1 and 2, and then it goes on from there. So all the rest
it's going to be good.
Well, no, I don't think I'm not saying that it will be spectacular or it won't be spectacular, but I loved the idea of having the original person who designed this entire like franchise and world and trilogy, like to have them come back to tell their story. Right. Because they always end up passing it off to somebody else who doesn't quite have the same idea. And if we want to use any movie as a perfect example, let's use the Star Wars, right? J.J. Abrams to, retard to back to J.J. Abrams. So there you go. So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm generally in the minority opinion. I feel like for this kind of stuff, just because I really enjoy remakes for whatever reason. I really enjoy remakes and stuff like that. I don't like the fact that they're just pretending. Okay, I don't like the fact that they're pretending that the sequel or the reboot never happened. They're doing the exact same thing with the new Devil May Cry game, and they're just ignoring the whole rebooted universe and going back to the old one because everybody pitched a fit, and now it's Devil May Cry 5, and I'm not entirely on board with that either, even though I love Devil May Cry. Like, I'm not on board with that either. It pisses me off when people back down from like what's being done. Instead of trying to turn it into something good, they're like, well, we were wrong, sorry. And I don't know, dude. That makes me mad, like, in particular. Like, I'm really, like I said, I've said this a million times, I'm not like a good movie person just because I enjoy almost everything, like, as far as movies goes. Like, there's not like a whole lot I'm critical of. But, like, when people go back on stuff just because everybody else got pissed, like, instead of trying to, like, fix it and make it better next time, like, they're just like, oh, backtrack, sorry, you know, and, like, we're just going to go back to what you liked in the first place, I guess.
Well, that'd be like, we could use that same argument, though, for Star Wars, right? But that didn't work out for them because they're trying something new instead of backpedaling, and it's not working out for them. So what are they going to do going forward?
Yeah, but, okay, Star Wars is a unique case in the fact that, like, it doesn't matter what they do. I'm convinced. It does not matter what they do. I mean, the prequels, everybody hated them. 10 years went by. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, they weren't that bad. And now the new movies come out, the sequels come out. Everybody hates them, and in 10 years, it's going to be the same thing. Call me back in 10 years and let me know, because it's going to be...
I was just about to say, I was like, you might be changing your tune, though, once they reboot, you know, this RoboCop remake, or once James Cameron reboots The Terminator, or, you know what I mean? Once these movies get rebooted by the people who originally made them, and they actually end up being better than all the rest of them, like, we could be completely shocked.
Yeah, but...
We'll just have to wait and find out.
Yeah, but people are not all about that. People... Okay, so with Star Wars, everybody has, like, this huge nostalgia factor. Because it was such a big deal from when we were all kids, when our parents were all kids, and nothing can, like, live up to that, ever, no matter what they do. Unless they... I don't know. I don't know. There's nothing they can do that is going to make everybody happy, and it's going to be, like, critically acclaimed, and everybody's going to be happy. They're like damned if they do, damned if they don't, no matter what they do. That's my opinion about Star Wars. I think everybody is hypercritical of it, and it's not, I think, entirely deserving of it. But that's just my opinion.
Well, they just need to stop making like crappy solo movies.
That's fair. Yes, that's fair. But
give us the Obi-Wan movie, and then let's take a break.
Yeah, give everybody the movie that everybody said they would be excited about. Because literally, like, when talks of this kind of stuff started happening after, like, Rogue One was successful, like, nobody was like, let's remake Han Solo, or you guys should remake Han Solo, or, you know, whatever. Make a Han Solo prequel. That's what everybody wants. Nobody said that. None of the fans. No one. You know what everybody did say, though? Is like, hey, other movies would be cool, like an Obi-Wan movie. And, like, you know, like, that was a huge deal. And, like, they were like, no, we're going to go solo. And so that was their fault. But
people have been talking about an Obi-Wan movie all the way back from when they released Rogue One.
Yeah.
It's like almost 5 years ago.
Has it really been that long?
Or, well, maybe like 4 years. I don't know. But that's a long time ago.
No, yeah, for sure. And it seems like they just, like, I don't know, somebody who is very out of touch with the common folk made that decision.
Kathleen Kennedy. Very out of touch.
Anyways, let's move on. This is the last thing I want to touch on today. It was a slow news week for games. There wasn't like a whole lot. There are some games coming out, and there's some stuff I'm going to do that didn't necessarily fit into the podcast, but some videos I will have up later in the week for you guys that I plan on making, and it kind of ties into some stuff coming out. But this ties into gaming just because we all know that there is going to be a Metal Gear Solid movie at some point. It is happening. It's just happening super slowly. But I just wanted to really just to share this with you guys real quickly. Is that the film director celebrates the game's anniversary, which was on Friday the 13th, with a run of inspired art. And let me just open up this image just real quick. I mean, obviously, like, this is just a really cool concept art. You got Metal Gear Ray over here. You got, you know, like the soldier over here. I don't see, like, Snake anywhere sneaking around, but thought this was a really cool art piece. But also, beyond that, there's this quick little video, which me and Tyflyer, we're going to mute our mics so you guys can hear this. So I just want to play it just real quickly for you guys.
This is Colonel Campbell. Do you copy? We've never spoken before today, but I've heard stories about you from the top brass at DARPA and the CIA. Even though I don't trust those suits, what they tell me is the stuff of legend. I know many of you have been awaiting an intel drop on the Metal Gear Solid film project. Some of you might say we've kept you waiting, huh? Unfortunately, that data was lost behind enemy lines, hidden in the code for a Soliton radar. But don't worry, it's not over yet. Snake is on his way to retrieve it. But for now, we have a more pressing issue to discuss. Today is the 31st anniversary of Hideo Kojima's masterpiece being released into the world. 31 years ago today, Metal Gear was released on the MSX. 31 years ago, stealth gameplay was created, and the world was introduced to a unique brand of military surrealism. As a thank you to the fans of this franchise, that bearded director, Jordan Vogt Roberts, will be releasing concept art he created with a series of next-gen artists. For the next 31 days, we will be releasing 31 pieces of art. We must stress that this is, quote, fan art, and is not meant to represent what is or not in the forthcoming film. The director says generating art based on Hideo Kojima's seminal characters and world has been a true childhood dream come true. It makes him realize he's no hero, never was, just an old killer hired to do some wet work. Please join us in celebrating the legacy of Metal Gear Solid over the next 31 days. Well, I have to sign off. Snake is calling again. To all the fans out there, we just want to say thank you.
So, oh my god, okay, two things about that. I think the actor that does Colonel Campbell is getting either really old or maybe it wasn't him. Because it sounded definitely a little bit different. I do have to say that really quickly. But, oh my god, I'm so excited about this movie, dude. Like, Metal Gear Solid is my favorite franchise. Like, I would say above Final Fantasy, almost. Like, above Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, other than Kingdom Hearts, is my favorite franchise of all time. And if they're making a movie, like, I know they're making a movie. I am so excited about this. Just to see anything that is moving forward. Like, it's been like 10 years that this has been like talked about, and like they just like keep like nothing really happens, and now finally something is happening. So I am super stoked about this.
That's actually pretty awesome. I love too that they used it in the old codec or
from like the PS1.
Like the old school style.
Yeah.
I loved that.
I sort of wonder if they tried to get like David Hayter maybe to do it too, and he like probably said no because he's pissed. Just about the whole thing that happened with him and Hideo Kojima and Konami and all that. Because I really would have liked to have seen him on there too, but maybe that would have gotten people's expectations set in the wrong way. But anyways, I really just wanted to like share that just because I'm so jazzed about the whole thing. And if I hear anything else about that you can guarantee, I will definitely pass that along to you with you guys. Do you have any other thoughts about like the Metal Gear Solid movie? I know there's not like a whole lot there to talk about really, but
no, but I loved the idea of bringing this to I mean, I love the idea of when they make video games into movies. I mean, because one of my favorite franchises overall was the Resident Evil. Like, I can't talk enough about Resident Evil. I loved those freaking movies. Now, the ending to it, like, could have been a little lackluster, but if they can pull this off correctly, they could have a massive franchise on their hands.
Yeah, they really could.
Massive.
This is one of the few movie or video game franchises that I think could translate over to being a movie. Because it's so cinematic, and obviously they've got to change certain things. But sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. It already has everything going for it that people already love, right? It's got war, it's got just everything. I feel like it already has everything going for it that people love to see in movies, like action, adventure, war, just things like that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I mean, it's got it's got stuff in it that people that necessarily aren't like video game fans could probably enjoy. Like people that like action movies or war movies. And Solid Snake is such a cool character. I'm going to be highly critical of who they choose to make him. to cast as Solid Snake. I don't know. Do you have a person that you could see playing Solid Snake? Like,
I mean, are we wanting it to be like a serious character? Can you see him as being somebody super serious?
I mean, Snake's
jokey.
Snake's not very funny. I mean, generally speaking, like.
I mean, as far as a person I could see, the guy who played
like
the Avengers. I'm trying to think of what his freaking name is.
If you say Chris Pratt, I'm gonna punch you.
I said the Avengers. Or not the... Oh, I guess Chris Pratt is in the Avengers. My bad. Yes. No, Hawkeye. Gosh, why can't I think of his name?
Oh God, I can't think of his name either.
I feel really horrible right now forgetting his... forgetting his name.
Don't feel that bad. I mean, he could maybe do it. What about, like... I don't know. Okay, so Snake's got a very gravelly voice.
Hugh Jackman. I think if I'm not mistaken, Hugh Jackman said that he was done with superhero movies. That's why he gave up on X-Men.
Snake's not a superhero though.
But I think. Well, I mean, I guess. I understand what you meant. I guess that came out of my mouth wrong. Not necessarily superhero movies like this type of movie. You know what I mean? Where it's like based off of that kind of thing. But Hugh Jackman, though, definitely looks like he could potentially play that part. I feel like, though, he's not... I don't know.
I don't know that there's anybody that I really think could play Solid Snake. I'm trying to think of, like, who could do that.
I feel like they're just going to need to find maybe somebody that nobody knows.
Do you think, like...
I was going to say Ryan Reynolds, but that might be...
Ryan Reynolds, I think, is... I don't know. I can't remember how old Snake was supposed to be in the first one. I think
Brad Pitt's a little too old.
Yeah, he's a little bit too... Actually, you know what? Like, but if Ryan Reynolds has a thing where... I mean, like, he's a super funny guy, but I don't know if he could be serious at any point and really, like, actually do a serious movie like that. Because a Metal Gear Solid movie is going to be serious. I mean, it's not going to have a lot of comedy in it. And so, like, Ryan Reynolds is a pretty funny guy. And so I don't know if he would be good for a serious role. I guess that really what that leaves me is, what do you guys think? Any of you out there that like the Metal Gear Solid series, who do you think could play Solid Snake? Do any of you guys have any ideas? Because I am, like, completely drawing a blank as to who I think would make a good fit. And especially one of the iconic things about Snake is his voice. Like, you know, David Hayter's just say so gravelly and, like, so low. Like, who could, like, pull off a voice that's similar to that? Because, I mean, they can't have Snake having, like, a voice like, you know, like yours or mine, because nobody's going to go see it.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, for sure.
Like, it just wouldn't work. But, yeah, what do you guys think? Is there anybody out there you think that could actually play out of that role and make it good? Because I'd be curious to know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on that. Is there anything else you really wanted to talk about today?
No, that was it for that. This brings us to everybody's favorite part of the podcast.
Shameless plug time!
Yeah!
Always remember, you guys can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TREK87 or Typhil85. He's on Mixer probably more than I am. I'm not on Mixer a whole lot. But definitely go give us a follow on Instagram. And if you like this video, remember to hit that like button. You know, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe. We have a weekly podcast we do every week. And then just kind of, we're trying to build another, like before we took our break, we had a pretty good structure. And we're trying to build another structure, something we can do weekly. Because I do want to put up more content for you guys. But I also want to make it something to where it's not like destroying my life at the same time. So that's kind of like my thing, is I'm trying to find a balance there. But we are going to be making a more structure. We're going to have more videos throughout the week for you guys. But there always will be the podcast. Usually every Monday or Tuesday it's going to go up. So for you guys to listen to. But really, is there anything else, Typhil?
Nope. I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for all the support everyone's been giving us. I do know that we've gained a few new subscribers, so welcome to all the new people, and welcome back all the old people as well. If you're new here to the channel, definitely, like TREK87 said, slap that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you guys keep up to date with all the new stuff that we have coming out, like TREK87 said. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, guys. We really do appreciate your time. And always remember, stay awesome.